Yeah, so I'm going to do a train station here, but it's going to have to be a longer platform. So I'm cutting this in half, this tin, and seeing if I can join them again afterwards. I'm not too sure how this is going to work. What I'm going to do just right now is try to get this in half, which is working quite well. A little crook there, huh? I got to start that with a Dremel. So I bent these. I made one hatch, just a half round, and I've soldered one corner already. But you know, you've got to get all this off, this brown stuff off, because that's what stops the solder from taking. I'll try to show you. See there? See that there? That's what you want, that silver, shiny, scratched. None of this green here or plasticky. Sometimes it's a clear plastic. If that's on your tin, it won't solder. So what I'm doing, see, is I've decided that I'm going to overlap these, make a train station, right? And then I think I'll put the train station either here or here. I'm thinking here and having maybe some other kind of little decoration here later on, like a little fence, so that it looks like a train station a bit. But I haven't totally decided, it doesn't matter. But I wanted a longer platform because the carts, most of the carts are too long, too like this. See, and I want to be able to pull up to the station, see? And it's going to be about the right height for the doors. So I basically took the two halves and I'm putting them together slowly. But first I've got to seam in these corners here, scrape them all, scratch them all off. Look, I'm scratching this one still. It's still not good enough. You got to make sure you don't get lazy, right? If you get lazy, you're gonna have an awful time with your solder after this. And then, you know, when I'm going to solder, I pinch it with the pliers, with the doctor's pliers here. I pinch it like this, and sometimes I'll even file the edges. I'll get it really square, and then sometimes I'll file this a little bit more, and then solder a bit here, and sometimes I tap that with that little, my new watch hammer, and then I tap this down a bit like that, and I get a really good joint then, see. You have to have patience. Come up with a lovely little platform in the end. It'll be all worthwhile. So, there you have it. Train platform. It's coming along nicely. Well, it's time to pack it in for the night. So after soldering, I've just put a bit of J&B welder, because there's a little step there. I want that to be all flush here in the end. So it's just a bit of filler to make it look smooth and clean. And then I'll most likely mount this on here somewhere, like this, right? And I'm thinking of putting a bench and a lamp and a bench and putting some people on it so it looks kind of like a diorama. So that's what I'm thinking at the moment anyways. Yeah, so I basically marked out where the tabs were. There's 3 here and 1 on this side, there's none on this. And I marked them out on the box here, made sure they were the same distance from the end. Like from here out with the calipers. And then I got a little knife here, and this little Sharpie knife, and hammered it through the tin here. But on this last one, which looks more professional, I used a screwdriver, and that looks better like a tab. So I'm basically the first time I've done this, so I'm kind of trying to improve my ways of making these. And it fits quite snug. It's going in there like that, as you can see. And when I bend the tabs over, it's going to be pretty good. It needs a bit of cleaning up on the back side so the tabs go flush. But that looks pretty good, see? Let's turn it around to you guys. See, there we go, we got our station in. I'm not going to tab it in yet because I got to spray this base and everything yet. I'm getting a feel for how it's going to turn out. So I'm thinking of a bench and a light post. I'm kind of getting into the idea of a little bit more diorama looking piece, so we'll see how it goes. Because they're sticking out in this end, too loud. Because they're protruding on this end from punching, I'm going to grind off these sharp edges here, so nothing. They have done that one a little, so that, you know, it's safe and it looks professional. So here's the train station, and I made little benches out of a little bit of toothpicks and 2 little stands underneath out of a bit of tin in the back, if you want to see it. See, there's 2 pieces of tin in back here, folded and then folded back up this as the back. I did 2 benches, and I used a dowel and just a dowel cap to make a garbage can and a light stand out of a dowel with a ridge in it. Actually, it's a old lamp for those spring lamps. It was a connector for those. I drilled a hole and I put in a little tube and a top little button from a cabinet with another round tube to make it a light stand. And once I make that green to go with this here, the lamp, the shade. Now, what I quickly did real roughly was make myself a fence to have a look, and I want to build a fence around the back of the station up through here. But you know, I did a rough job to see what I'm going to do and how it's going to look, and now I'm making a clean one by knifing old box crate pieces that lay around for free. I'm knifing them into strips, right? So I can make a fence, and I'm just working on that at the moment. So I'm just down here on this wood piece here, and there's one of my strips, and I'm just putting it down like this, lining this up to that pencil mark, and cutting my strips with an X-Acto knife really slowly and carefully, very light first, so the ruler doesn't push away. A little heavier. They're really easy to cut, actually. You can see why in the olden days they made boats with them. Look at that. You can see why they made strips and made boats, because it's not that hard. See? I need 2 or 3 or 4 of these. I'm also going to put the fence along here up to here and stop, and then come out just out the back here again on this side. So that's what I'm at the moment. I most likely do 2 or 3 of these strips and start gluing it together when I get a chance. So after quite a few hours of work, I'm just going to put this in here I made the railing, and I'm also bring it in the back towards the house here, and then put another little piece in the corner on this side so that it matches. It'll be white picket, depending. Looks good. Kind of like a diorama. Yeah, so I've been working away on the little railings, cleaned them up, epoxied them on the back here with an epoxy glue, made a little bit of a mess back here, but I can clean that up. And because I wanted to keep this clean up in here, I used JB Weld and then a cotton bud to kind of clean it a little bit before it got too dry. You can still Dremel it or clean it, but as you can see, I have this look now that I like, and I have a little railing here in this corner as well. Like a little train station, and put people in it, like a diorama. So I'm just going to leave this all dry now, and you know, maybe I'll put some kind of tiles in. I don't know yet how to proceed, but I think the picket's going to be white, so there we go. Let everything dry and we'll move on. So here's the train station finished at the moment. I may put some tiles down in here, but I'll wait and see. I want to put it in a diorama. This is just to show you what I'm thinking. Basically that's the tin piece finished. Tin restoration part.